All right, let's do an audio and sound check. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys can hear and see everything okay? Good morning to some traders around the world. Good morning, afternoon, whatever time zone it is for you guys. Sounds good, looks good, everything's great. Thank you guys, thank you everybody. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. There's our top step risk disclosure. This is not a signals class. As always, we are trading at our own risk. So that being said, let's talk about gold. This is a 5-minute gold chart. We've seen a lot of volatility in gold, but let's see if we're already starting to get some volatility already. Let's see a 1-minute chart. The 1-minute chart is pretty dang volatile. Maybe there's just not a setup tonight. Maybe there's not. It's just very, very volatile. You know what? Let's go ahead and just buy it. Let's just buy it. Come on. Let's see if we could get a bounce here. You can see me watch. Don't sit here and watch me chase gold. I was looking for a breakout, but I'm okay with a 3-bar reversal. So let's see what we could do here. I like the longs, but we still have a couple minutes. I wasn't seeing any good pivot points, but we've had a rally up. We've sold off. We're near this support zone. I mean, I dare say that this is support, right? Where this can be considered a support zone. So I'm okay buying in this zone. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to analyze gold from the very beginning. So today was quite the day on gold. It really was. And if we look at a daily chart, I mean, what more can I say, right? We've been looking at this. All of a sudden, the tilt's 99% long gold. Yeah, who knows why. But, yeah, it's not a signals class, guys. Let's make sure you guys understand that. Everybody understands that. But we were looking at the daily chart for the past little while, and everybody knows exactly what we were kind of looking for, or at least what I was looking for, right? We had the consolidation. We were looking for a break above, a bull flag, rally, consolidate. Maybe we start to get another rally similar to what we had earlier. And if we do get a good breakout, then there is possibilities that we could see 2,600. And today we got that breakout, and we got that breakout in a very, very strong way. If we start to zoom into that, 5-hourly chart, let's zoom into an hourly chart while gold starts to just work, because that's what it was. Just buy the market, and it looks like it's working out pretty well. So this is the hourly chart, and sure enough, how about that trade yesterday? That trade yesterday was absolutely amazing on gold. So where were we at? If we remember, yeah, how about that? Simple, right? Like, you don't have to overcomplicate your trading, and hopefully I could go over this next week when I do more in-depth trading analysis of what my strategy is. But this was the consolidation box from last night, the consolidation. And what was the strategy, right? Super simple. We play the breakout in the direction of the trend. We sold off. We were at support. And we consolidated, and we broke out. If we would have held one contract, we would have made a ton of money. And sure enough, that's what it was. And now we're going into, we're going to go with the trend for this trade because bull's just breaking out on the higher time frame. We zoom into a 5-minute chart, and it's gosh, holy cow. All right, guys, that's the end of slow markets. What else can I say? This is not a signals class. Top step risk disclosure. Yeah. Oh boy, this is something else. This really is. What can I say? Like I'm speechless. I am really speechless. What do I say? Buy lows, sell highs, class dismissed. That's how you trade. Very simple, very easy. Man, gold's not supposed to work out this well. That was crazy. That was really crazy. But this is just a dummy account. So anyway, the idea behind this trade, let's talk about this trade, is we've had this rally right before 8 p.m. Central. We sold off, and very much, right, the hourly chart on the higher time frame, we were right down the support. I went through that, right, where I was like, hey, this could be support. Sure enough, this was support, and that's it. That is it. I have nothing else to say. Let's see if we could just get out. I'm going to get out at catch some of this profit. Let's zoom into a 1 minute. I think it was the 1 minute chart that I was looking at. Yeah, rally, pullback, rally. Do we continue to break out? Do we have a pullback? There's not really much to talk about right now on this trade. Maybe it retraces. Maybe I just jump out of it. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Let's think about, very much like last night, is where do we have our stops, right? So let me get rid of this take profit. And this is always a crucial factor. We seen it go into play last night, is stop losses. Where is our stop losses? Should we have moved our stop losses? Should we have take profit? I was busy talking about something else. There's arguments to be made on we could have closed it out for a take profit up here on this zone. If this was my live account, I would have done a lot less talking and a lot more trading. And so there was an argument to be made to use a take profit up here at 77. Now the question is, how do we run a stop loss when gold reacts like this? Do we turn it like, yeah, this is interesting. This really is interesting. Nick for the tick, yeah, we try and use stop losses. We try anyway. So I'm not sure. This is an interesting situation. Maybe we could just move our stop loss right now. Do we keep it here? Yesterday and last night, if we would have had our stop loss in the same place, we could have caught a much bigger piece of the move. So it's so hard to say. Having a stop loss is one of the most difficult things, is knowing exactly where you need the stop loss, where to put the stop loss, what to do, how to get in, how to get out. There's no right answer, but I try and be as consistent as possible. And that is to, on this particular trade, remember this is a demo account or a combine. On this particular trade on gold, I trail it. And my strategy has been to trail my stop loss. And if I get stopped out trailing it, so be it. After a period of time, I'll be able to go through and calculate, would I would have done better without trailing my stop? Like so many other different things. But for this particular one, moving it to this pivot is the way I've been doing it. I might just close this out. I might just close this out since we're up here at 77s. Let's see. Let's watch this, because now I am looking at this resistance and it's starting to become resistance again. So I do like this stop loss. I should have, there's always the should have, would have, could have, hey, we could have closed this out with take profit. I'm only in one contract. So definitely if I was in multiple contracts, say 2, I would have, closing one out would have been a really good option here. But anyway, I think that is good. I'm not going to have a take profit. Let's just see where this one runs. If it runs, if not, this is going to be, like I said, this is sample data. This is great. This is not my live account. This is not a Express funded account. And I have some interesting news for everybody, by the way. So interesting news. So stay tuned. And for everybody who stays watching slow markets, about halfway through, I'll give you guys a fun piece of news on my own trading. Okay, so stay tuned. No free resets, no fire drill. It's going to be a fun piece of news midway through. So that being said, let me know how this gold trade plays out. I'm going to go ahead and continue the regular planned slow markets. We'll do our rapid fire starting with the NASDAQ. So here's the NASDAQ. Let's start on the daily, wherever that is. I did the hourly twice. We'll go daily. So same thing. Nothing really changes very much on the daily. We just get one daily candle each day. So dang it. We are starting to sell off again. So we had this rally, we had the sell off, this is a pullback, and I am very much in the favor of seeing maybe another leg lower. I was looking for 20,200s. I'm not going to be surprised if we do get another sell off lower. With this area of 600s has been a strong resistance. And then if we zoom into an hourly chart, we will talk about the same thing. I was on fast markets earlier this morning, and sure enough, that's played out pretty well today, and I took advantage of it. We had some nice selling, a lot of selling pressure. This very well could be another one where maybe we continue and start to see this test of the consolidation from Thursday in this low. There's a lot of selling pressure coming on and getting into the markets the past few days. I love this consolidation. I've enjoyed this consolidation a lot. It's been, easier for a technical analysis or a technical trader like me, or at least the way that I like to trade it and my style of trading. I would say it's a little bit easier just because it's clean. It's a lot more clean. There is something to be said. This is a technical pattern I do watch for sometimes. If we do break down, a lot of times what I like to see is a retest. So the retest would be something similar to what you're seeing right now, and then maybe a continuation to the downside. So let's see how it plays out. I tried to get into a trade, and now this was a mistake by me. This was an oopsie or whatever we want to call it. I tried to trade during power hour, and I was trying to get into a short near the end of power hour, and I took a loss because the last 20 minutes of the power hour session, we had a nice little bounce, and I took a loss on that, so I gave back a little bit of the profit, not a lot. I don't want to say just, but it was more than I would have liked, and that goes out without saying. I will be talking a little bit more on that a little bit later on during my slow markets class. So this is what I'm looking for going into tonight and going into tomorrow. So I would not be surprised if we see a lot more selling pressure. We're starting to make those lower highs. We made another lower low today. And yeah, I think that's all I have for the NASDAQ. Simple, straightforward. We will see what happens. And next, let's go ahead and move over to crude oil. Crude oil's starting to sell off. So another one where, it's just one of those things when you're cold and you go into a drawdown, but then when you're hot, you're hot. And that has been this week for me. I've been doing really well. The past, week or so is look at crude oil. Sure enough, as interesting as it might seem, that is exactly what's happening on crude oil. We are selling off, and I didn't trade it. I really wish I would have. Obviously, the would have, could have, should have comes into play. I'm glad that I could be here and do the analysis for you guys and maybe give you guys a different point of view, an interesting perspective on the markets. Like I said, it's not a signals class, but hopefully it has helped, everybody here maybe understand the markets. And that's what it is. Markets are hard to trade, but sometimes things tend to get easier to trade. The technicals start to line up a little bit better. As you can see here on crude oil, sure enough, we were starting to get a little bit bearish. We was looking for a push down towards $8 a barrel, maybe even lower. We are getting that right now. The question is, do we sell off all the way down to these 76s or to this bottom trend? The next thing is maybe we find support. There is an argument to be said that we find support around this zone. There was a lot of resistance, and this resistance can very well become support. The next area, so like this is the zone. We're right in the middle of the zone right now. If we do continue to sell, there very much is an opportunity to look for longs around this 77 zone. You can see there's a lot of support here in crude around this. Maybe that's the top of the zone, as you can imagine. So if we fail to find some support, maybe we go back down and see the 77s here in crude oil. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some type of reversal and a little bit of a bounce. If not, it's just a complete sell-off. And this, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it will look like, but I'm glad that we're seeing this sell-off. And unfortunately, I did not take advantage of it. And anyway, as I'm speaking, let's go ahead and bounce back to gold, because here's gold one more time, and we are starting to just go back up. So good example. Glad I didn't close it. Glad I was able to have my stop loss in the correct spot. I'm going to go ahead and... this is where I'm tempted. I have to admit, this is one of those moments where I kind of just want to close it for take profit. But that's not really in my rules. So I'm not going to close it. If I was in two contracts, I will close one of them. But I'm not. I'm only in one. So I have to follow my rules and just let it run. It's tempting to close, but I can't. I'm not. I won't. We'll see if gold wants to just run. I'm not seeing a good pivot to move my stop loss yet. Maybe there's an argument to say I can move my stop loss to like 77, 76. But right now, based off of the way that I trade, this is the only pivot I've seen that is strong enough for me to keep my stop loss. Other than that, I don't see any reason to move my stop loss yet. It's actually looking pretty bullish that maybe it wants to break out even further. So let's keep an eye on that. It's something we could watch. We could just sit here and watch it. Why not? Let's watch it. Let's watch it while I get to some questions. So let's get to some questions. We're not even halfway through, and it's been a crazy slow markets already. Anything but slow, and it's fun. This is why I love trading. So do you find much value in annual, HOLC levels? For example, oil is sitting on top of the 2023 open right now. Michael, I do not very often. I mean, you've seen a lot of what I do for my analysis from that aspect. What is my role when it comes to taking profit? When it comes to taking profit, it's all about the technicals for me. Support and resistance. I've been trying to trade this gold for everybody in front, and I talk about taking profit. I talk about a few other things, and hopefully it clears some stuff from there. It's support and resistance, where I would want to get in for take profits. I take profits at, if I'm in a long, I take profits at resistance. For example, this could have been a great area to take profit. As soon as I get in, I come up, take profit there. This could have been another area to take profit. If we rally right back up into this wick, then, there's an argument to say there's resistance here. But, maybe I should take profit. But for the sake of the way that I'm trading gold during my slow markets, it's a quick trade. In terms of getting in and getting out of the markets, I'm not holding this trade for very long. It's kind of a scalp where it's the 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, spike in volatility. I got in long. I'm going to trail this, and we're going to see if we get a breakout and break. Let's see, because I think if we break, we'll see another nice bounce. Maybe it will give us another point to do our pivots, or at least move my stop loss as well. So on that note, while we're waiting for gold to move, and before I get to some more questions, I got an email today, and I was a little bit surprised, to be honest. I was a bit surprised. I traded during fast markets today with MP and my trading buddy Rips, and I made some good money. Everybody knows I made some good money during fast markets today. I was trading my 5 XFAs. I was copy trading my 5 XFAs, and I made great money, right? So yes, I got my email. Moving to a live account. So I was surprised. I was definitely surprised by this. I'm planned to have a conversation with Mick tomorrow. Maybe I'll join him on the shoulder tap to have that conversation. It was just a little bit surprised by me, right? Where it's like, okay, I was in these XFAs for a couple days, and now I'm already in a live account. But I think MP might have said it best this morning. He's like, yo, you know what? You're too good of a trader to be trading in a sim environment. Let's get you in a live. So I would love to know Mick's thought process on this. And so let's see how it goes. So stay tuned. More updates to come. I'll have a great conversation with Mick, and understanding that process of like, hey, I was struggling. I went through and I paid for XFAs, or not XFAs. I paid for combines, and then I, passed those combines, and then I got them to XFAs, and then I traded for a few days on XFAs, and I did really, really well. Happened to be in front of MP, and sure enough, they're like, get him out of the sim. I guess we just have to go into a live environment. So that makes sense to me. It's going to be a really fun conversation with Mick. So let's go. Yeah, we'll go through that and go from there. I messaged Mick. I was like, hey, can I, in my live account, here we go. We're starting to break out now. Let's watch this breakout. I'm going to go ahead and move this stop loss. That looks like a good pivot to me. I told Mick, I'm like, maybe I could have my live account, and then I trade it like it's 5 XFAs where I have, $15,000 worth of drawdown and, 75 contracts. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good conversation. Maybe I could join him tomorrow. Maybe I could join him the next day. I'm not 100% sure. We will see how it goes. Yeah, you can have a live account and an XFA. So we're getting this breakout. I do not speak French. I'm sorry. I know some words in French, but I don't speak it. But let's see if we could hold this breakout. We hit 81s. We're starting to hold up here, which is good. And this is the power of why I like to trail my stops sometimes. Yesterday would have been a great example. I just happened to get stopped out when I was trailing it. And let's see if today is going to be another good example. And hopefully this time I'm not getting stopped out. So we shall see. Just watching, and we will see where we go. So give me just a second. Oh, slow markets never disappoints. I have so much fun hanging out with you guys. Let's see if we could continue to break. It's such a volatile, look at this, just new high, and it doesn't break by a little bit. It's nice, good pushes. It's nice breaks. There's momentum to this. When we start breaking, there is momentum to this. So, okay, I think I've seen enough. Let's get out of it. So, let's get out of it. I'm happy with that. If we break, I think the reason why I'm going to do that is I want to start answering some questions. I'm going to talk about Nikkei, but there is that example. We'll see. We will see. This says a combine, but this is just my coach's account. I can't get funded on it, but let's see if we could see where I got in. Is that it? No. I think it's that. No, it's that one. There you go. Yeah, there we go. There's the trade. That's the trade. There's the gold trade for tonight. I wish I had my XFAs. I really did. That would have been 750 times 5. That would have been a nice, a beautiful investment for that 25 minutes. So anyway, that being said, Dakota, if you already have a live account and you were working on XFAs, that is really messed up that they did it. Yeah, I mean, it just depends, right? I don't have a live account right now because that shoulder tap last Thursday, Friday. I started combines and I was working on XFAs now. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I just got those emails, so I'll figure out the details tomorrow. And here we go. Let's see if we could continue to break on gold. How long does it take to get your XFAs? As soon as you pass your combines, you can activate the XFAs instantly. Let's see. It was Thursday night, Friday's trading session. I got the email. I got onto the combines. I clicked on, it says I passed. I clicked on activate and it was instant. And I traded for 2 days. I traded Friday, or I don't know if I traded Monday and then I traded today. So I traded 2 days. Anyway, that being said, a couple more questions. Okay, just a reminder. Next week, I'm going to be going into an in-depth study of how my strategy is. So Next week, like I said yesterday, everybody voted on it. You guys voted on it of how do I trade. So next week, every slow markets class, the last 30 minutes or the last portion of slow markets class, I will be going over exactly how I trade. I'll be going over start to finish and the way that I think and the way that I look at the markets. And then you guys will be able to start to ask me questions about my strategy. And then hopefully I can explain and be able to elaborate it really in depth. And now remember, it's just to understand how I trade. I'm not suggesting you should trade like that because, everyone's strategy should be customized to the way they trade themselves. My strategy most likely will not work with everybody. It won't work with, maybe I would be happy if it just works with one person. So next week, every single slow markets class next week, it will be through that. Show us your account stats. I don't have stats in this account. This is my coach's account, and I don't have anything in this account. There's nothing. And my 5XFAs just got moved to live, so I can't even show you my statistics on my XFAs. So you guys don't get any statistics tonight. As I start to build them, you will get to see them. A few more questions. Okay, so when is that Excel spreadsheet going to be coming out? I am waiting. The person that I am working on it with is on vacation. Once they get back from vacation, we'll be able to get that out to you guys ASAP. There were some regulations and some, dot the I's and cross the T's to make sure that when, we're presenting a spreadsheet, or when I'm presenting any type of spreadsheet that could have in any way suggestions of how to trade or pull out money, things are kosher. Do you add to your winners at all? Cider, yes, I do. This example on gold, I do not. And I will strongly suggest to stay tuned next week when I start diving into an in-depth analysis where I will be talking to how I get in and how I get out, how I add to trades, how I add to some losers, or scale in to trades that are, in the negative. I wouldn't say losers. And then I also scale into trades that are in the positives. I don't call them winners because they're not winners until I'm flat with take profit, for example. When are you planning your next trip to Peru? I'm not sure, Alejandro. Why? How to stay consistent with your strategy. Do the same thing over and over and over and over again is how you stay consistent. There is something to that. I was reading, I can't remember exactly what it was that I was reading, but it had to do with consistency, okay? It was more of I think it was actually that, now that I'm thinking of it, I think it had more to deal with on discipline, but consistency and discipline goes hand in hand. And discipline is one of the ultimate things that you can do for yourself as self-love, because I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of, I love reading. I love reading many books. I love reading the scriptures. There's so much to learn in the scriptures as well. There's so much to learn from books that have nothing to do with trading. I've recommended The Obstacle is the Way. I've recommended so many different things. But yeah, I think that is the best thing that I could say right now. Let me look. Anything else? A few more questions. We could continue to chat. We can continue to ask questions. Yeah, we do. We have the London. D's doing the London session. That's awesome. I did wake up in the middle of the night and seeing a small portion of that. That was really great to see. I'm excited to see how that turns out with D. I'm still continuing to, yeah, and then of course, Coach T. Coach T is something else. I do not trade GU. Yeah, so that's how it works, Jays. I'll stay to, I would always recommend just come join me for shoulder tap. I don't know if I'm going to be on or when I'm going to be on. I just messaged the team and said, I got moved to a live account. I would like to join Mick for a shoulder tap session, another one. And we could go in depth on answering questions and having conversations. I have a lot of questions for Mick, of course. But yeah, when I'm copy trading my 5 XFAs, my 5 express funded accounts, and they're being copy traded, they're identical. When you do get called up to a live account, the risk managers can decide, yes, he's copy trading. We're going to move all 5 of his XFAs into a single balance into a live account. So, yep, that's it, NQ. That is it. When they move your XFAs to a live account, they close your XFAs. You can see I just have my one combine coach's account, and I am going to be waiting for my live account. I'll get more details on that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I will be on Power Hour, and guess who's joining me? I believe the wonderful David Green will be joining me tomorrow during Power Hour. So that's going to be really fun. Did I burn any accounts before withdrawing? When I first started with Topstep, yes. I think I went through 4 accounts. I think I went through 4 accounts before getting a withdrawal or a payout at Topstep. Francisco, what happened to my live account? So I discussed that in depth Friday with Mick on Shoulder Tap, but long story short, I took out too many payouts. I didn't leave me enough cushion, and I had a really bad day on Thursday and blew it. Like that. Long story short, took out too many payouts, didn't leave me with enough cushion, and blew it. But then again, here I am sitting 4 days later, and I'm already made that back and then some. So just because, and there's been a lot that I've had to discuss with Mick and a few others. How much money should I leave in? Taking that payout and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I didn't do it on purpose to switch to Topstep X. No. If I would rather just take a payout, take out all the money, and then switch to Topstep X. But gold's just kind of died for a little bit. Like we stopped. Like that was the move. That was the move. That feels good, having this type of a trade in gold. There we go. That was the move. Buy low, sell high. Super simple when it does work out. I did not take out the 20K. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Are we starting to sell off? There's my trades. Oh, look, it even saved my trades on this account. 3 shorts, 670, 642, 675. This is from the fast market session from this morning, or yes, New York session morning. And then there's my take profits. Man, I could have left on. Didn't get the best out of it. I know my XFAs, I closed it, I think, out at the 30s. My XFAs, I did close out a little bit better than this. I don't like how this looks, though. Give me just one moment. Yeah, let's see. What does this say? I'm curious what Coach T says real fast. Your largest win is 2,200 and largest loss is 300. Aim to keep your losses smaller than your hits. So emotions and trading will happen. Understand, embrace them. So not really as great of replies when you're losing than when you're winning for Coach T. Your patience seems good. Yeah, this is a good way to stroke your ego. if you're trading good, you could just keep refreshing this and, have your ego stroked by Coach T after he's beating you up for losing. Yeah, that's for sure. So maybe I could just do this for a little bit whenever you're feeling down. Take some screenshots. Great job maintaining a solid profit factor. But let me get rid of this, and I'm going to get to some more questions. We're just over that halfway mark, and I'll just get to more questions from there. Don't like this. There we go. Jump over to the Nikkei. Let's see. Nikkei. We're starting. Oh, this is something interesting. This is the Nikkei Japanese market. Maybe something similar to the NASDAQ. Maybe this could be this could be something similar to the NASDAQ, where we've had that sell-off. We're seeing this consolidation, and it's been selling these highs. And could we see another move back down to the lows? Sure, why not? This would make sense if we come back down to this zone. This is a very, very strong support resistance zone, right around 41,100 to 41,200. This is a good zone. So I wouldn't be surprised if the NKD would sell off and maybe we see the test of these lows. Other than that, I don't like longs here right now, just because we are seeing a lot of bearish momentum stepping into these markets as well. Let's take a look at ES and then get to those questions. I mean, what can I say about ES? It's difficult to trade. It really is. All-time high, all-time high, all-time high. Essentially, we've just been hitting all-time highs at an angle, right? Like just continuing bumping up against this. I don't want to short it. I don't want to buy it. This is difficult to buy when we're up here. And then this is difficult to short. This kind of reminds me of how the NASDAQ's been. So, for me, it would just be stay away from EX in my own personal for right now. That's the way I'm viewing the ES. And now with all the questions coming in. What do I think about silver? Silver and gold, I think they go hand in hand. Silver is a lot more volatile, and silver is a lot bigger per tick. So I stay away from silver whenever I'm trading. Do you think you should focus on one market before trying to learn more, or trying to learn multiple markets? Yes, 100%. Focus on one market. If you're new, if you're beginning, and if you're trying to become consistent, I would strongly recommend focusing on one market. So now that being said, what I also plan on doing, so this is another, I mean, it just never stops. The amazing stuff that's coming in terms of like the value add and what you guys get as traders. Not only do I have the ability to go through my strategy next week, I am in talks with doing 1 or 2 classes for very entry-level beginning traders. Now, it's not to say somebody's better than the other. It's just there's so many new traders that when I'm talking and I'm holding my slow markets class, it's too advanced. And there's a lot of language and there's a lot of things that I go over that it can be very, very advanced. So what I'm in talks with now is setting up a class that is going to be recorded and it's going to be live for entry level, beginner level traders. So I'm excited. There are going to be details to come, and I have so many ideas in mind where I could have a entry level, then I could have an intermediate class, and then maybe we do a advanced class, right? Because you hear me talk all the time where we have thousands of traders, and not every trader is at the same experience level. And, we have new, we have immediate, we have advanced. And you guys all are joining me for one class, just like I'm doing next week. And I'm going to continue to do is more focused classes in terms of we do the slow markets and then we focus on something. We do the slow markets and then we focus on something. Every single night it'd be doing my regular slow markets. We'll analyze the markets. And then the last portion of class, we focus. And whether it's focusing and I go through my strategies, or we focus on entry level or intermediate or advanced, I'm not sure. But it's going to be something that everybody could join, because I've got a lot of messages to where traders are continually asking me to, I don't want to say dumb it down, but maybe explain things like more simply, or more simpler. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I can't even explain that simply. But it's like, explain it to me like I'm a kid, right? Which is fair, and which I think is very, very valuable. And then it's going to be recorded, so that way you guys could go through and watch those recordings. Yeah, so like elementary, middle school, and then college, or high school or college. I don't know. You guys do it, because there's a lot. I've got a lot of traders who are asking me those same things. I could start speaking and it's too advanced for them. But I want to make sure I'm going to not damage what I'm doing at slow markets. I want to keep slow markets exactly how they are, but then we're going to have something at the end, or maybe guys, remember, it's supply and demand, just like the markets. If you guys demand it, then I have more leverage to supply it, right? Maybe I have slow markets go longer than 1 hour. So if that's something, you guys speak, Topstep's amazing at listening, and that'll give me a lot more leverage into being able to hold these classes. So lots of stuff, guys. Not much really going on to the markets that I'm seeing. It's kind of a slow, pun intended, night for me outside of this gold trade. Oh, let's see. That was the hourly. That was quite the break on the hourly. And we just kept going up. Why not? 2,600. Remember, the daily, like I said, higher time frame tends to be dominant. The higher time frame is very dominant. We broke out. I would not be surprised if we see 2,500 tonight. Maybe by tomorrow we're talking about gold being at 2,500. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we was to measure a breakout move. Let's just say this one. And I do this all the time. I'm sure it's going to be pretty close. Yeah, that's accurate. That's a good estimate. Let's actually do it the right way. So this is more of the right way. So we'll do this. Let's do another one. Okay, that's fair. That's these nice little breakouts. Did I measure this one already? That's more of a big one. So if we were to, I don't know, just depending on where we want to say the start of the breakout was, we could definitely see 2,500 real soon, right? We could see 2,500 real soon. 2,510, we have this one out here at 2,550s, 2,560s, but I think gold, it's not just barely starting. It's kind of in the middle. It's definitely kind of in the middle on this. Someone says use the fib projection. It's been a long time since I used fibs. Is it fib extension? Is this it? Is this how we use fib extensions? Oh, come on. I just messed that up. Let's see. I have not used Fibonacci tools for a very long time. Fibonacci. Correct me if I'm doing this wrong, right? Is that it? I don't know. I haven't used this. Yeah. I like mine a lot better. It's simpler. Keep it super simple. Maybe I need to retake some Fibonacci classes. Yeah, most recent swing up then down. So essentially, by that theory, you're just saying this. Right? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I don't get too caught up on the tools and the drawings. This is as simple as it gets to the way that I'm looking at it. It's been a while, Richard. I haven't used Fibonacci retracements for a very long time. You could eyeball it. You could really eyeball it, to be honest. And I've met traders who use Fibonacci's differently. I mean, how do you exactly put Fibonacci's in different areas? What time frame? This is a daily. Do we? But I like to eyeball it. Like, to me, look, if I'm looking at eyeballing a Fibonacci, I could easily say, you know what? This looks like about 50%, right? We had this move, and it retraced, and this is just over 50%. That looks like 50% to me. And then if we pull up a retracement, you know, pretty dang close, right? 50%, you know, a little less than 50% is about the 38.2. A little more is about 61. There's also some support and resistance there. Yeah, I eyeball it. It's so much easier. You watch this, you watch the markets, you watch charts long enough, it's easy to eyeball. If you're new, if you haven't traded for a while, then definitely, Fibonacci tool could come in handy. I don't know. So, anything else, guys? Anything else? 2 more questions. Do I ever use moving averages? No, I do not, but I will be on with David Green tomorrow. David Green, he's a technical trader, and he uses moving averages. So if you ever wonder about moving averages and technicals going hand in hand, tomorrow during Power Hour, I will be on with David Green, and maybe we get conversation starting with moving averages. I don't use moving averages. I don't use VWAP. I don't use XYZ indicator. What you see on the charts right now is what I use. This is what I use. Once again, next week I'll go more in depth about how I trade, what I look at. But if you've followed and if you've watched slow markets for long enough, then you know how I trade. Like, really. If you've been in my slow markets class for long enough, you know exactly how I trade. So yeah, use whatever indicator you want. If it works for you, that's great. I do not use any of them. I don't use the VWAP or moving averages. Just draw lines. Support and resistance. Like, that's as easy as it gets for me. To each their own, right? So I think that's where I'm going to end class tonight. I'm going to end it just a little bit early. I start class a little bit early anyway, so stay tuned. Come join me for Power Hour tomorrow. Maybe, just maybe, I'll be on with Shoulder Tap and Mick, or I don't know. We'll see. Like, the stuff is always moving. Stuff's always going on. It's amazing. It's fun. And I will see you for sure, if not during the TopstepTV day show, tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.